All right, I will let everyone into the room. Here they all come. Hello, everyone joining us. I can see Alira and Karen and Judy and Alison and Amanda and Joanna. Hi.
Hello.
Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Makes it like play school if you're old enough for that.
I know.
And
in
I
the
can
round
see
mirror,
Carolyn
in
and
the round
Camille,
window.
but they never said my name.
No,
Ever.
I think
Nor
name.
mine.
Okay. I'll just keep admitting people as they arrive, and we will get started though. So handing over to you, Verena.
Okay. Thank you, everybody, for giving up some of your Monday night for this very important topic. It's a very important topic in terms of how we manage our clubs in two ways. One is making sure that we have a very professional online presence, but also we'll also talk tonight about how to manage the negativity that sometimes happens on social media. I have a board meeting tonight, so I can't stay with you for the whole night. So I'm going to hand over to three very capable people. So Jodie Miles, who's the Equestrian New South Wales Education Manager. So she's been coordinating this. And two people who have been extremely generous with their time, Chris and Verity Muscat. So Chris and Verity run a media organisation called Pixelate. I thought it was Pixelate for a while, but it's Pixelate. And Verity, for her sins, is also on the Equestrian New South Wales Interschool Committee, and she is also on on our Marketing and Communications Committee. So she's very generous at the time. So I am very grateful for them. And I'm going to stop talking so you can talk about the real content. So have a good time. Hope you learn lots, and I will hand over to the team.
Thanks, Verena. Enjoy the board meeting. Bye. Okay. All right, everyone. So as Verena said, my name's Jodie. I've just got a couple of things that I want to explain before we get started, and I will continue to admit people into the room as they arrive. So if my eyes are kind of wandering everywhere, that's because I'm admitting people at the same time. One thing that I will ask is if you could keep yourself muted, because there's a lot of stuff that goes on at this time of day and of evening, and it's really distracting if we can hear you chatting to someone or eating your dinner or the ice cubes in your gin and tonic. So it would be great if you could keep yourself muted. And also, we will be finishing on time. You will receive a copy of the recording. In the recording, you will have the PowerPoint session so that you can see the details. Anything that's written on the PowerPoint, you don't need to write down. If you do have any questions as we're going through the content tonight, if you could just write those questions down, and then when it gets to question time, I'll get you to post them into the chat function. We won't be looking at the chat as we present tonight because we're in presenter mode, and we won't be looking at the chat until we get to question time. So that's kind of all the operations and logistics. I'm just going to share my screen with you. Okay, so right, tonight, this is what we have. We have Welcome to Country. So in the spirit of reconciliation, the Equestrian New South Wales acknowledges the traditional owners of the land, and we pay our respects to elders past and present. I'm on Darug and Ku-ring-gai land tonight. So we do acknowledge the past equestrians and traditional owners of the land. So we've had the introduction for presenters, which is great. And then I just wanted to show you something that I created in Canva, which was about tonight's session. So this is something that took me a little while to do, probably about 35 minutes. And I was very new at doing a infographic, but this is an infographic of what we're going to cover tonight. So how to use the free version of Canva. I'm actually going to take you through that, seeing that Verena has to go to the board meeting. We're then going to do tips and design tips to make your post stand out, and that will be with Verity and Chris. And that's all about using design in Canva and adding to the templates that we're going to send you. And then I've got some tips and tricks on social media. So mostly I'm going to be focusing then on how to get yourself out of problems if problems arise with social media, as well as the benefits of social media. But I really wanted to give you some tools to deal with things when they go wrong. And then there's question time. I'll just admit, there we go. Okay. So how to use the free version of Canva. If you go onto the Canva website and you go into plans and pricing, which is up the top here, it's got a drop down box. And then over on the left-hand side, you've got the free version of Canva. So it's really simple to find. And the reason that we love Canva in the office and the availability, if I can hear someone chatting, if you could just mute yourself, that would be great. So the reason you do get the free, what you get in the free version of Canva, it's because you can do so much for free in the free version and it looks really professional. So here's what you get without paying. Basic Canva templates. So there's templates in there that you can select from. So if you put into your free version, create a Facebook template, a Facebook post, there's one there for you. If you want to create an Instagram post, there's a template there for you. There's email signatures, all sorts of things like that that you can use, the free templates that they've got in there. And then there's basic editing tools. So that's fonts, color, design elements, and so much more. You'll see a lot of that when Chris and Verity take you through the templates that we are going to send to you. And you can also share. So you can, if you are the person at your club who is doing the social media posts and you design one in Canva, you can share the link with other people and get them to have a look at it before you post it. So you might have a whole lot of details in there like dates and you know, you've got a new look, a brand look that you want to use. You can share the template with others so that you can get feedback on what you've designed. And you can also print things directly from Canva. Now, how do you save your Canva design without paying? So the biggest thing that I can give you here is you create your own design and it's from a free template and you can add in photos and design tools. You can also upload your own photos. And then when you go to download, you can upload your own club photos into Canva. And then when you've designed everything, you can download those in the top right-hand corner of the screen. So you just go download and you select your options. Very, very simple. And then you choose a format. Now, we usually recommend for your social media posts what Verity and Chris are going to tell you tonight. And that's something to wait for, is the right format for the right platform. And then you click download again and it saves to your computer. So you can choose where you want to, it goes to your downloads and then you can save it into a folder that you create. There are some premium download options that might be restricted in the free version. So what this means is if you choose something that's in the premium version and you go to download it, it won't let you download it if you've got the free version. So anything with a little crown on it, the little king's crown is part of the premium version. So they're ones that you want to not use if you're using the free version. So a couple of tips: keep it really simple and start with the free templates we're going to send you a link to tomorrow in the handout that Verity and Chris have created. It's baby steps. So when I first started using Canva, I didn't know how to use it at all. And there's a ton of stuff on YouTube. If you just put into YouTube, how do I such and such in Canva, you'll get heaps of YouTube videos to show you how to do things. And it's really one of those things that when you play around with it, you'll be able to work out your way. It's much more difficult to show you how to do it and then explain it to you, and it's not until you actually do it that you'll learn how to do it. And really keep it simple. Keep it as simple as you can. Don't try and replicate what someone else is doing, which might be really complicated. Use the templates and keep it simple. So now I'm going to hand over to Verity and Chris. I will stop sharing, and they're going to talk to you about some design tips.
Can you just share again just for those first 2 slides?
Oh yeah, sorry, sure.
That's
Hang
okay.
on. Okay. All right, next slide. Okay, so these are the templates that Verity, go back. That Verity and Chris have created for you. So we came up with a list of what we thought would be the most common used templates in terms of clubs. So these ones here are all about getting people to, getting information to people, like we've got a dressage competition coming up. We've got a show jumping competition coming up. There's one there that's got a banner on it. Entries are closing soon. There's next clinic alert, highlighting sponsors, thanks to our sponsors, membership renewal, working bees, tips. So competition tips, it's just great to send out and interact with people prior to a competition coming up. Notice of AGM, that you need volunteers. So they're the sorts of templates that we thought would be useful for you. And then we've got these different ones.
I can pick it up. I can pick it
Okay.
up, Jodie.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, I'll stop sharing.
Just keep that up for a second. Just keep it up.
Okay, good. Go.
So what we've got here, like Jodie said, we've just got a whole bunch of templates that we've put together
awesome.
for you to take away and update and customize to your own club. So everything is editable on Canva. You can use any of these templates for any purpose. It's just that we've identified some of the common communication points. This slide shows you what they could look like once they're customized to a club. So we've just made up a pretend club here and customized the colors and the fonts to suit it. So what we're going to do is going to go straight into Canva. So now we'll share our screen and we're going to show you exactly how to use Canva to update them. So they're very, very simple and they should be very quick to update. We have also prepared a step-by-step guide that we will distribute after this call that you can follow to update all of the templates. Like you don't need to take notes or anything here. But yeah, Chris is going to talk you through the designs, why we did what we did, the 3 basic things to think about are keep it simple. So there's one key message that you're talking about, that this is the graphic of the social media post, remember? So keep that part simple. Any extra detail can go into caption. Keep it consistent, so all of your posts have a familiarity, and then also keep it quality. So keep your logo high quality, make sure it's not blurry, make sure you're not using photos with watermarks, and that they're high quality too. So we'll jump in now.
Yeah.
So sorry, Verity, can you just explain which part is the banner part and the image with the grass and the cloud? What does that? Why does it look like that?
Yeah, we'll get into that. They're just placeholders for the template.
Mm.
When you click on the link that is shared, this is the first page you'll see.
Mm.
You already have a Canva, you've already been signed into Canva, and we're just going to click on this. This is just a preview of the first template.
And so what we're designing here is the image that goes with your post. So you have an image and you have a caption. So this is just your image. Your caption is just the copy, just the text that you write. And so that's where we're sort of encouraging you to put most of your detail, so that when people are scrolling on social media, it's so busy. You know, we've got memes, we've got news headlines. And so we want your post to be really bold and simple and really recognizable, so people stop and go, oh, something's happening at club, really want to know. And then they'll hopefully from these posts, they'll get the one message, which what we're sort of referring to as the hook, and then they'll dive into your caption to get all of the details that they need.
Yeah, that's right. All of these designs are broken down in 3 elements. Like you have the hook, whether it's the large title or your cool photo. It has the middle section, which is the details, and then your end section where you want them to be is that call to action, that enter now, enter here, go to nominate, whatever it might be. I'm just going to quickly, I'm not going to show you every tool on this site, but just a couple of the main ones. When you first come here, you have this view, and if I just scroll down, you'll see all the templates you saw laid out on that presentation slide before. You can come down this bottom here and you can change, you can come in here and pick the one you want. You could go to the grid views, what you saw, which is probably more familiar with.
And you can pick your template based on what it looks like, not necessarily what that title says, because you can update that to anything that you want.
Correct, yeah. This VIP dressage clinic might be more suited for a featured sponsor shot, because it might be someone holding a rug or something like that just won, and that might be more suited. So you would just click on that one and update the content to suit. I'm just going to click back out of here. I'm just going to go to the first one. I'm just going to double click on it, and this will be the template we're going to use for our example. Yeah, before we start and get into it, we want to have our content ready, and that's our logo and our photography. And if this is our first time, these elements aren't going to be in our library from the get-go. So we need to upload those to our library. And the way you do that is you come over to the tools here on the left and you just click uploads. To upload our photos and images, we just click on this upload file here, or you can drag them in. We're just going to do the most simplest way and just click upload files.
I just want to think of it too. We've made these templates, I guess, aiming for the person that hasn't, you can upload those, for who hasn't used Canva before. So they're really, really basic and really straightforward. If you're already using Canva, that's great. Like you may find some of these useful still, or maybe you'll just get something from what we're talking about tonight about keeping it simple and keeping it consistent.
Yeah. And if you're one team member in a social team for a club, what you upload here, your other team members won't see. So if there are two or more people editing the social campaign or the social for that club, they'll need to upload their own logos to their own library. And when you log out and come back in, they will be here.
Okay, so we're going to do a cross-country one?
Yeah, let's do a cross-country one.
Yeah,
so yeah,
I'm just going to say, yeah, so let's pretend that we've got a cross-country clinic coming up and we've chosen this template, and we're going to go through and update, I think, text and photo just to suit the cross-country clinic.
Yeah. All these are all movable things, but I've just laid them out in a hierarchy for you to use, which is simple and clear. So if we just want to come in here and just click on this, so click across clinic.
Yeah. What a typo.
Sorry, I'm not a typer. And we have our hierarchy here, which is pretty much the same on all of them, and that is what it is, the what, the when, and the how. And it's quite important to keep that kind of simplicity in these banners. You can add more elements in case we wanted to add the coach's name. We can, all I'm doing, you can't see my keyboard, but I'm copying and pasting. So Control C, and I'm just Control V, and it's just pasting the element here. And I'm just going to put it here. And then we would put in our trainer's name. And still keeping with our hierarchy of things, we're not starting to do too many different font sizes. We want to keep things kind of kind of the same, and it maintains that hierarchy. You have the big one, the middle one, and the last one. Now we will add our photo, and to add a photo, this is a cross country. I've just uploaded some photos here.
Just want to explain the frames.
Frames?
Illustrations. The hills.
Oh, the hills, of course. Right. These are just placeholders that when you're building a template, that's all they mean.
So yeah, in Canva they're called frames, and it's basically like a photo frame. It's basically waiting for you to drop your photo in.
Correct. Yeah. So I'm just going to come over here, pick one of my cross-country photos, and I'm just going to drag it over, and it'll just drop it in. It does a pretty good job of centering your photo. If you want to zoom into the photo, I can show you that later. Now we're just going to add in, before I go any further, I have a little photo credit placeholder here. This photo might be from one of your photographers from a previous event. It's always a good idea, and I'm sure they'd appreciate it if you put in their name or the photographer's name.
Just a quick one, that is only on this template. We haven't added it to all the templates, but like Chris was saying before, it's really easy to copy and paste within Canva. Like you can grab something from another template, copy, and then dump it on a different one. Yeah,
if I copy and paste this element and paste it on the next template, it will paste it in the same spot. Maybe we don't need that, so I'm just going to delete it for this particular post. We're now going to update our logo, and I'm just going to do the same thing we did with the photo and just drag it over into that box, and it's in there. So now we have all our main elements. We have our hook, which is the nice photo. We have our hierarchy of copy, what the event is, when is it, and what do I need to do. But we still need to make this look like it belongs to our club. And at the moment, the black and gray isn't really working with our logo. So what's really nice about Canva is we can come into here, and without knowing what type of shade of green that is, it's worked that out for us. So I'm just going to click on this black box here. And when I click on an element, you have this toolbar up the top here. And that changes with every element. It has a different thing. If I click on this call to action, it has an effect on it. But these others don't, so it's not highlighted. But I want to change this black box to maybe a color that suits our logo, or that fixes that contrast. I'm now going to go to the very top here and click on the black color dot, and then I'm going to get this color palette. What's nice is what it's done here is it's picked the colors from the photo, or it's picked the colors from the logo, which is really handy. So what we want to do is stick to the colors, like in that example when you saw the whole suite together, there's this cohesive look. It has the brand, people get familiar with your color palette, which is a nice thing to break that noise when you're in that newsfeed. So I'm just going to pick a color here, maybe this light blue, and it's a nice contrast to our dark logo. But what we see here, we've got this white text on this light blue, and when we're doing online things, it's important to make that accessibility for people that are vision impaired and things like that. So you want to make sure you have strong contrast in your things you're using. So I'm going to click on I can click multiple things. I'm just holding the shift key and I'm selecting all my white text. I'm coming up to the top here with this letter A, and it has a little rainbow underneath it, and that's my text color. I'm going to click on that and then pick another color from our palette that contrasts that light blue. And I'm just going to pick out dark blue. And this gray bar here, we can play around with that. Again, I'm going to come to the top here and just pick another color. I'm just going to pick perhaps the green. And now we have this connected ad that's connected to our brand. Once you're done and you're happy with everything,
You're going to do the highlight, show that.
I can do that in the next one.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm just keeping this super simple without too much into effects or anything like that. We're happy with this. It's ready to go. I'm going to go to the top right-hand corner and I have our share button. If I click on that share button, I can download our graphic.
Click on it. Yeah, the pages.
Pardon?
Yeah, keep going.
Yeah. And I have our PNG, our file type, and it's suggested the PNG. And PNG and JPEG, we're using photography here. Both are suitable. I'll stick with the suggested. Back to what Jody was saying earlier, if you were doing a PDF or something, or you know, these other things. I'm not going to get into those today. For our purpose, the PNG is perfect. So I'm just going to leave that as is. I'm going to leave our size to 1. I'm not going to worry about any of these other things, but I just want to select the current page. I don't want to download the whole template suite. I just want to select our current ad. So I'm selecting current page, we're done, and then I hit download, and it will save to our computer.
And then another thing too, like if you have done this template and you're really happy with it, but you next time, say you've got another one in a month's time, you can still keep this. You literally can copy and paste or duplicate this frame or this page, I think Canva calls them. So you keep all your library of past posts as well. I hope that makes sense.
Yeah, that's done.
Just literally copy and paste it or duplicate.
Yeah. So we've updated this one. I can come back to this template and go, you know what, I really like this design. I'm going to save in case I delete it, or I want to make another version of it, or get it ready for next month. I'm just clicking on the thumbnail that we came down the bottom here. I'm just clicking on it, and then I'm coming up to here, and I can duplicate it. I can trash it if I think it's no good, or add another template.
I think too, if you're doing events and you need to communicate those events, so like different information about that, like you might want to say entries closing soon, or the draw's available, or you know, 1 spot left, or whatever it is, you can use that same look and feel so people sort of know you're talking about that same event, but then you can just update the copy to whatever your message is at the time.
That's right. Now I'm just going to show you one more. How are we going for time?
We got time
Yeah,
for one.
good. All good.
Okay. I'm just going to pick another template. They are all very similar, dragging, dropping, but these ones here where the text is over the photo is the next one I wanted to show and how that works. All of these designs are built in layers, like an onion, and we need to access those. We can just drag, well, I can just click on it and it's going to select that one, and I'm going to select this one. I'm just selecting what the cursor sees. But sometimes in this case, where there's a text layer on top of an image layer, I need to get to the background or something like that. And
Canva can be sometimes fun when you're trying to click on something but you can't.
Yeah.
So this is what Chris is going to show you now is how you get to those layers.
Yeah, so let's update this photo.
That's fine.
We won't update the text. We'll think it's a dressage. I'm just going to drag a dressage photo into here, and it's added the photo. But what's happening is this photo is maybe too dark. So I'm going to come up to here. I'm going to select my photo, and this little checkered box here is our transparency for that photo. So these are some of the things you can do with Canva. At the moment, it's set to 57. There's no rule of thumb here. It's what you think works the best. So I'm just going to brighten it up a bit, just so I can, you know, still have a decent contrast with that text on that grass. And that's pretty good without going too high.
One good thing to point out is position of photos. So this photo, you know, it's great. There's heaps of space around the horse. It's really easy to put your title on a clean area. If you were to make it like zoom in.
Yeah, that's right. So what you want to do is you want to, most of your posts are going to have horses or riders, and you kind of want to avoid the text overlapping the horse's face or the rider's face, and you want to work with that photo. Canva will do a good job with just centering that image. It won't recognize that there's text underneath it. So you need to do that little bit of extra effort to lay it out. So I'm just going to double click on this, and now you can see how it's cropped it. I'm just going to drag this. And as I'm holding this photo, you'll see this grid. And this grid, you're probably familiar with it on your phone, but it's called the rule of thirds. And what's a nice thing to do is just to move it around. We're going to drag it up there. Just going to move it up a bit, have a bit of a play. And I'm just going to lie my subject on that cross section of the rule of thirds.
And so does that mean that you're filling 2/3 with one subject?
Oh, my maths is shit.
No, well, yeah, these two here.
Yeah, pretty much. I'm doing where the photo is thin, but what I want to try and do here is I want to create some clear space around my text at the same time. Because what's happening is that those boundaries of that dressage arena are conflicting with my text. So I'm just doing the best I can to move it up. So I'm just double clicking on it and I'm dragging it, I'm moving it around. Oh, I'm losing the head. And then we're going to change our text to suit. And then I can grab this box, make it more centered. And now we have a better, no conflict here. I've still got this clear space. Clear space is your friend. The more clear space you have in any of these ads, the better it will be to legibility.
And more impact as well.
Yeah. We're happy with our details. We're going to drop in our logo. Now, some logos for some clubs are all different shapes. So I'm going to put in worst case scenario. I'm going to drag it into our box and it's not working. It doesn't fit in this little box we've created. So how we fix that is we just click on it and we just drag it out till we see it. Yep, we're seeing the whole thing there. And I'm just going to bring it down and just play with it again. As I'm moving things around, you'll see these dotted lines, and these are like what's called like a smart guide, and Canva's just popping that up going, look, that's centering with that element. And that's what you kind of want. You want things to align. That helps. When you start moving things around, it creates this contrast of, which isn't, it just makes it harder to read. We want to design these ads what we're used to in the Western world of reading an article. You know, this kind of, if you think of this big, large letter Z that goes across, down, and back across, that's how we kind of want to lay this out. So I'm just going to bring this down and bring this across, and let's line it up again. We've got the same problem with the contrast of our logo. So I'm going to come into this box again. I'm going to click up here to the top, and I'm going to pick the light blue. Next. Yeah, that's another good question, another good point. Fonts. At the moment, this is just the default Canva font. You might be happy with that. It might look well with your logo, with your brand. If I select these and want to change it to something more suitable, I can come up here, and here it is here, Canva Sans, which is the default. I can click on that.
Sometimes it will suggest a font.
Yeah.
It's quite clever. I think there's a little bit of AI happening there. It might pick a font that's similar to your logo. It's not coming up, I think.
It's not coming up, no. But a little icon will come up here.
Yeah.
And I tested this before, and it suggested this random font that I've never heard of. But when I clicked on it, it was clever enough to find a font that suited our font style, which I thought was quite neat. This is the little crown icon that Jody was mentioning earlier. These things, because you've got a free account, you can't get into, and we won't get into that.
But I think too, this is when you're choosing like colors and fonts, this is where you want to be consistent. And if other people in your club are creating these templates, that's where just share what you're using. So you always really should stick to one font.
Yeah.
Ideally.
Yeah.
You can make it big and bold. There can be, I think Canva will give you a bold option of most fonts or italic, but just try and be consistent with one font.
Yeah.
And that builds your familiarity and builds your brand and the consistency.
So I'm just going to move this photo so you can see I've got this black layer underneath there. And that's when I make it transparency, what makes it dark, or, you know, makes that exposure a bit lower. To access that black, or to view the layers, I've gone past this, but if you go up to here, you see this position. That's quite an important thing. If I go up here and click position, it opens up this tab on the right here, on the left. And if I click layers, you can now see all the elements that make this add up. Sometimes you might be playing around without realizing, and for some reason, you know, you've lost you lost your logo, or you don't know what's happened to it, and you want to center this. So you go to position, and this will always get you out of trouble. First, I want to center this. I'm going to come up to arrange, and I'm just going to center it and put it to the top. I'm going to go to my layers and see if I've deleted my logo. Now it's there. I just got to drag it up. And there it is there. Yeah, and I'm just going to do a few more little fixes here, add the green in. And then we're happy with that. We can go to share and share the ad like before. If we come to our thumbnails down here, there's our new ad.
Yeah, so that's pretty much it. It's pretty straightforward, but really I think just get in and have a play. Every time you click the link to these templates from the PDF that we're going to send around, it will create another copy. So you can't break anything.
Yeah.
That they're always going to be available. And like Jodie said, you learn by doing. So just have fun, keep it simple, and try and keep it consistent. Actually, I think, Jodie, if you
Yep.
share again, we've got a bit of a summary, which is
Sure. Hang on one sec. And there we go. Can you see that?
yes. So yeah, keep it simple. As we said, the more simple and bold it is, the more impact it will have in the busy social media environment, and try and keep all your detailed information in the caption. So just put in the graphic what it is you need to capture the attention. Keep it consistent, sorry. Use the same colors, the same family of colors. You stick with the same font. Keep your logo high quality. That's an important one. If you have a logo that's looks blurry, you may need to get that recreated. I think that we can talk about that in question time, maybe, if that comes up. But yeah, be a familiar face, and that's just about having a somewhat consistent look. So when people scroll through social media, they recognize that it's you. It's, you know, think about it as a really busy party, and people see a familiar face, and they're like, oh, that's someone I know. That's kind of what it feels like. And quality, yeah. Don't use images from Google. Don't just go and get one that's got a watermark on it. It just doesn't look professional. Canva have a free library of free images. Like if you type horse in, some of them are a bit dodgy, but if you needed like working bee, for example, I was trying to find one the other day. There's a whole lot of free images you can use there. There's also, I think in the PDF, we've mentioned a couple of free image websites that are available. And yeah, I just had a note about building a library. So one of the hardest things, I've been doing social media for a club for many years, and Chris is a photographer, so I'm lucky. So I have a lot of his photos of me, and people get really sick of seeing them. But it's really helpful if you get your club members to send you photos, and so you build a library. So if you need to do a advertise a dressage event or a cross country or whatever, that you have lots of different images to choose from. So I would really encourage, everyone has a phone these days. It doesn't have to be like super professional. And then, but then on the flip side, if you can get a relationship with a professional photographer to share some photos and, always credit them, that's going to be really helpful as well.
Yeah.
Very good. Anything else, Chris and Verity, before we?
No, that's it.
Okay.
Yeah.
If you think of anything else, you can bring it up later when we get to question time. Oh,
Maybe
go, Verity.
Yeah, one more thing. I don't know. I don't think we mentioned this, but we've given you square templates. So they're suitable for Facebook, they're suitable for Instagram, but they're newsfeed sizes. Like a size for a story is different. We've just stuck with the newsfeed just because we just wanted to keep it simple. You can share them to your stories, but once you start playing around, it's really easy to create your own and create different sizes. But
yeah. And there are templates in Canva, aren't there, for stories?
Yeah.
There are templates there, but I think it's important to remember the things we talked about are keeping it simple.
Yeah.
A lot of them will be quite busy, and feel free to use them, but
yeah, there's no rules.
Yeah, that's right. What we shared with you today is no rule.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's just to help you as a guide, or to help you, or take the time out as well. Don't spend too much time thinking about it, picking it. Well, it's like a candy store and just wasting so much time not knowing what you want. where that's why the templates are there for you to save that time. It's a good starting point.
Yeah, it's great that you've done that for everyone, which is
I
going
hope
to
that it's
save them so much time. I'm sure it will be helpful. I'm sure of it. Okay, so we'll go on to the next bit now. I'll just click through this. Oh. Right, so social media tips and tricks. Thanks, Verity and Chris. So what I've got here is what we're going to cover. So talking about responsibility of whose responsibility within the club social media is, how social media can help your club, and ways to avoid the backlash that can happen, unfortunately, with social media, and some do's and don'ts. And some tips for dealing with complaints. So I'm going to give you a template on how to deal with complaints so that we don't have the scary, I'm so scared face like that lady. So social media responsibility. So it's one thing to be, in a club and then all these different people are posting on behalf of the club, but what we found is it's really much better if it's given to somebody as a responsibility. And that's so that they can continue with the best practice. So making sure that there's things have been decided and it's staying within that best practice formula, and that the audience is being engaged, as well as managing all the people that are commenting and asking questions. So it's better if one person does that within a club. So things, for example, that you need to, that one person would do is that they would be making sure that the content is relevant to the club. So nothing that is just a waste of time, nothing that people are going to go, oh my gosh, this club drives me crazy. That doesn't mean anything. It's not of any use. It's just silly. There's no purpose to it. Why are they sending that? You don't want any of those questions to come up when you're posting on behalf of a club. You want to make sure that you know what's happening, how the club is being mentioned. So out in the world of, say, Facebook or Instagram, if your club comes up in someone else's feed, then you want one person to be the person that is responsible for how to respond to that issue that might come up. It's also recommended that athletes, coaches, and committee members protect their own personal privacy. So you need to make sure that you're not including any personal information on social media. So email addresses, residential addresses, and telephone numbers. You want to avoid any of that going into social media. The out of hours. So often things happen, and it's really awful that it's often, but most of the time when I've been involved in anything negative on social media, it happens at around 8, 9, 10, 11 o'clock at night, or in the heat of the moment. It might be at a show or at an event, and it's either and someone's really annoyed right there and then, and they'll go, right, I know how to deal with this, and they're really reacting instead of responding. So it's making sure that the person who's responsible for social media in the club is prepared to deal with things that might happen out of hours. And we'll talk about how to deal with them shortly. So every club should have, and should's like such a horrible word, but we encourage you to have a strategy. And really, it's very simple. It's what's the purpose of each post? Like Chris and Verity were saying, it's what's the hook? What's the hook and what's the what? So what's the what for the post? What's the purpose? Is the brand, as in the club brand, being showcased in the best light and in line with the club's values? So if you're a club that, like not a lot of clubs go, these are our values and this is our mission statement. It's not like running a big corporation or a company, but still you know that your club is what's important to your club. So I'm part of a working equitation club. And what's important to us is that everyone has a go. And so you just want to make sure that that value of we want everyone to have a go is being projected correctly with what lines with your club. And then what's the why of your post? So what will the post achieve? So there's some questions that you need to ask yourself from your club. From a club perspective, what is it that we want this post to achieve? Do we want new members? Do we want people to turn up on the day? Do we want people to be at the AGM? Do we want people to put their hand up to be in a role within the committee? So always knowing what you want the post to achieve. So here are some ways that social media can help your club. So communicate activities and events, the community and values of the club, the discipline itself. So one of the clubs that I know is getting huge traction at the moment on social media is a club that is doing really well in vaulting. And they're getting huge numbers because they're doing such great content. And it's content showcasing the sport of vaulting, the discipline of vaulting. And so you're not just representing your club to outsiders outside of the club who know that what your discipline is, you're also promoting the discipline itself. So always keep that in mind. Attracting new members, building community and loyalty to your club. Reaching out to new members, recruiting volunteers, or garnering interest to garner interest at an event, like some excitement, curiosity. It might be something like, come and see what we've got for you, or, something, what's the hook that you're going to get people curious to turn up on the day or to enroll. And deliver on sponsorship commitments. So most clubs have, a feed shed near them that they might have made an alliance with that, sponsor and a prize on a day or whatever. So social media is really good for delivering on those sponsorship commitments. And of course, sending people to your website, if that's one of the things that your club has, is sending traffic to your website. And then also keeping an eye on your competitors. So it might be that you want to run an event and you're not sure whether the club down the road that then they might be running an event at the same time as you. So it's really good to follow other clubs to see what they're doing, and also follow best practice. That if you see something that you think really works for another club in terms of how they've given across information, what their what is, then discreetly use that same kind of garnering interest effect that they might have. Okay, ways to avoid a backlash. So if you are at an event or you've got a club day and you've taken some photos and there's some children in it, you should really seek permission from the parents of the child. That's a really important one in terms of children. In terms of other club members, it's good when you get club members to sign up, that you have them agree to the fact that you want them to, they are okay with you to share photos of them. So entering into this practice day, by entering into this practice day, you're committing to the fact that you will allow your photos to be shared, except when it comes to children. Ensure that content published is accurate, good quality information, and it's authentic. If you're commenting on other people, make it clear that stated views are your own and not the club's. That's, if you're going to go on a rant about something and you are also the club person, but your rant is a personal rant, then don't do it through the club. Social media, do it separately. Be polite and respectful to everyone that you interact with. That's, I think, a given. I just put some images in here because I think they're fun. And, doing things like this, really, it's like cat photos. You know how Instagram is just full of cat photos? Why not have some great horse stuff in there? So, and that's not really offending anyone. It's seen as a bit of fun, and that's okay. So the tip here for avoiding a social media backlash is THINK. So that's an acronym for true. Is it true? Is it helpful? Is it inspiring? Is it necessary? And is it kind? And yeah, we hope that no thoroughbred owners are going to get put off by the "I don't need a smartphone to find invisible monsters" post. So yeah, they're the sort of things that people share, which brings that affects the algorithm of your Instagram or Facebook page. Now, it can also have a negative impact on the reputation of athletes, coaches, and the committee of the club. So it's not just the club itself. It can have a negative impact on the people within the club or the people associated with the club. So these are the sorts of things to consider on avoiding that happening. Use a proper complaints procedure or channels for things that are concerning on disputes and grievances publicly. So I'll give you the template for dealing with that a little bit later, but it's having a procedure. So it might mean having at your next committee meeting, having a discussion about what do we do if this happens? What do we do if someone on social media has a go at the club at a comp that we've just run, and they're publicly putting it on the Facebook page? What is the process that we're going to use? And having that as a procedure. Avoid commenting on things that are happening within the club. So not saying this was decided at the meeting last night, blah, 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 unless you've got a particular procedure for that. And also not releasing information before, like, say team selection is decided at a meeting one night, and then that night it goes up on social media, but the people who've been chosen in the team haven't been told that they've been chosen in the team, and they're finding out through a Facebook post. So that's not how Olympians find out that they're in the Olympic team. We find out that way, but that's not how they find out. So it's important to remember the process that needs to take, and the chain of communication with things like internal meetings. Don't make promises regarding your club's operations and decisions. So, often a committee member might be approached about something to do with the club that they're associated with, but they can't make that decision based on, that might need to go to a committee, or, so that be kind of put up the chain within the committee. So just be really careful. And the best thing to do, the easiest way to deal with that is, I'm not sure, but let me find out and get back to you, and I'll direct message you. So you take it out of the channel. Never share intimate images of other people without consent. Getting changed in a float. You don't want any of that kind of stuff to be put up on social media. Avoid becoming involved in debates with other people you suspect are being inappropriate. Don't do that online. Take it offline, and I'll give you the template for that later. But don't start this tit for tat, get off, don't take it. Don't resolve it on social media. Take it away from that. Refrain from making excessive comments or posts on a particular issue. So if something comes up, sometimes it's better just to let it go. And then other times it's better just to do one comment and then go, okay, there's no further discussion on this. Just don't start this communication going backwards and forwards that goes on, and then hundreds of people are involved, and it's not a community chat page that is for that reason. I've mentioned before about being responsive, not reactive. So it's one thing to always remember when you are in charge of social media and you're like, yeah, I've got to resolve this, and this needs to be, I've got to sort this out, and you go there and you're angry. Always take a breath, maybe give it to someone else to read before you post it, and then just diffuse your state of mind first of all, and get out of that reactive state and think, how can I do this responsibly? And avoid posting anything that could be considered harmful. All right, now we'll talk about some social media do's. So these are the sorts of things that we encourage you to do. So it's about getting what you give. So participating in the community. Social media is it's very emotional. Like any marketing, it's about the reaction, the feeling that people get when they read it, which is why people get addicted to it, because they want that good feeling. And you want them to feel, react, and engage when they see your post. And if you give nice content, you will get nice things back. So if you want more followers and likes from people that you want the attention from, then think about what they're interested in. So think about the avatar or the person that you want to attract, which is another way for like your market. Think about what they're interested in. You know, are they interested in funny images? Are they interested in information? Think about what you want to the engagement to be part of, and how you want to create more followers. And struggle ends when gratitude begins. So this is about your sponsors. So thank your sponsors, promote their photos of their brand, members that have done such a great job to run an event, or you want to thank those members for doing something out of the ordinary. Guests that you've had, like judges and officials and anyone in the committee. All of that, it's not just, like I find sometimes with clubs, they go, we've got this WhatsApp chat between the committee, and we've got a WhatsApp chat between the competitors, and we've got a WhatsApp chat for all the other members. And so lots of information gets shared on the WhatsApp, but it's not getting shared on the other platforms. And it's the other platforms that see that information. And when they see that, they go, and they can see all this positive stuff happening. They're like, this is a great club. This is a club that I want to be part of that appreciation. I want to be able to contribute. And that's what the gratitude that you're showing brings.
James in Cobargo says, good on you, mate. Someone else is challenging you, Rowan, saying I can beat beer. A better drink is Bundaberg rum.
I'm just Christine Johnson, if you could just mute yourself, please.
Well, sorry, yeah.
I just can't get to her at the moment because I've got this going. Okay, birds of a feather flock together. So consider your branding. This is where you want to make sure that you've got consistency of branding. So photography, your colors, your font, your language, and play around with the way you post things. So you're keeping a real visual style for your personal and business brand that's cohesive and consistent across all platforms. So what Verity and Chris have shown you tonight in terms of your logo and how Canva so easily picks up the colors in that logo, once you've got all of that info there of the colors, then you just want to make sure that you're using that consistently. So like Verity said, when they see it come up, they're like, oh, I recognize those colors, or I recognize that that logo. This is one I like, so I'm going to click on that. And it happens visually for us. And then next, consider hashtags and mentions. So hashtags are where you, on an Instagram, where you can look up something as a hashtag and go hashtag working equitation, or hashtag funny things at dressage, or whatever that, whatever hashtags whatever relates to the post that you're doing, have a look and see what hashtags are there. And then you can see how many people follow that, how many people follow those hashtags. Okay, some social media don'ts. Watch out for typos, really important. Don't forget to proofread, and also remember that grammar is important. Don't post anything you wouldn't want your grandmother or your 5-year-old niece to see. And it's really important to remember that for potential sponsors. So if you are approaching a sponsor for your club, they will go, a smart sponsor would go to your Facebook page and see, what sort of value am I going to get out of my sponsorship? Is it going to be worth me my while to give the club $500? Am I going to get $500 worth of coverage back? And are they a club that aligns with my business values? And it's not only a place to share, but a place to build that first impression and reputation. Don't ignore information. If you're not sure what the difference is and when to go to Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, and Twitter, then do some research there to find out. So Facebook is more community and more information. LinkedIn is more person, less company, and more businessy. Instagram is visual and graphic, and Twitter is something that I would avoid and not called Twitter anymore, but now called X, but most people still call it Twitter. And that's really just short bits of rage, seems to me, but short bits of comment. I stay away from it because I don't have time in my life for Twitter or X, but that's up to you. You can do whatever you like, and if you feel that you want your club to be on Twitter, then go right ahead. But just make sure what you're doing fits into the different types of social media platforms that are around. And don't give up. So if you're starting Facebook or Instagram for your club, and first of all, you only have the number of members of your club as followers, and just go, there's no point. There's no point doing this with 35 people. Start small. It will start small and it will grow, and it does take time. So even big influencers say things like, I started off with 2 people, and that was my mother and my grandmother. So everybody starts small and don't give up. Okay, the dangers and consequences of poor social media use. Last little image there on how it all started. So when online contact is a problem. So cyber abuse is behavior that uses technology to threaten. So this is technology. The key there is it uses technology to threaten, intimidate, harass, or humiliate people with the intent to hurt them socially, so out in the community, psychologically, or even physically. That's something to look out, and that's what the government is working really hard on at the moment, is the type of cyber abuse that hopefully equestrian clubs are not being exposed to, but something to be mindful of. And just another word that you may have heard of, which is trolling or trolling. Trolling is when one person makes a deliberate, provocative comment or post and waits for people to take the bait. So they're trolling for information. They might not always be bad. My experience is that it's not something that you want to get involved in because you just never know where it's going to go. They can be mischievous. They might want to be contentious. They might appear initially not to be contentious, and then, they might lead, once they've got you hooked in, they might lead you to something that is contentious. So just something to be mindful of there. It's not a personal attack. That's called flaming. If you find yourself in your club or yourself associated with your club, not so within the equestrian realm, of any kind of abuse, I encourage you to give the office a call, Equestrian New South Wales, and first of all, take it to your club and go, how are we going to deal with this? And then if you need further help, then we are quite willing at Equestrian New South Wales to give you some support there and lead you in the right direction of how to deal with that particular issue. Now, here's my tips for dealing with difficult social media complaints. So you've posted something on Facebook, someone has said something that they're against the club, it could be against a particular person in the club, it could be they weren't happy with their results or whatever that complaint is, but they've taken it to social media to complain about it. So the first thing is you can't ignore it. You can't just hope that it will go away. It does need a comment. It does need to be responded to quickly. If it's not responded to quickly, the consequences of that is that other people start commenting and it blows up. It goes, out of control. It just ends up in this, if too many hours go by, too many comments and backwards and forwards will start happening before you can get in and respond. So it's important to respond quickly. Always be professional. So it's taking the personal out, it's taking the emotion out, and it's being professional. and you take the conversation offline. So you contact the person directly using direct messaging, or you say to them on Facebook, I'm going to send you a messenger chat about this, and then you just shut it down online. Then you offer a solution. So it's about listening to them and saying, it's like a love sandwich, I call it. So it's first of all saying, I appreciate that you are upset right now. That's the first part of the love sandwich. The second part of the love sandwich is, however, we need to get this sorted out because it's not productive for you or for us as a club. And so you're talking to them as a club. It's not you personally talking to them, it's as a club. So we need to get this sorted out for you personally and for the club. So what we're suggesting, we would like to offer you a blah, blah, blah. And it might be the chance to do something. It might be, you know, turn up free next time at the practice day, or whatever the committee decides as a solution, but you offer that solution and then you follow up. So you make sure that it's happened later and follow up afterwards. Okay, and here I've got some resources. So specifically for sporting clubs. So there's some info there. These are links that you'll get when you get this recording. And then also some general social media information. So pointers to better socially communicate and social media like a pro in terms of complaints. So that's it for tonight. I'm just going to stop sharing. And I realize we have gone over time. There's a lot of content. There's a lot about social media in here. So if you have any questions, please type them into the chat function. So our first question, would it be good practice to have someone paid to own this? I feel like volunteers may not always be available in the long run. That would be great if every club could afford it. Yep, go right ahead. But if you haven't got anyone in the club who can afford it, and most clubs don't, then yes, it's something that you need to discuss as a club. Okay, by uploading images to Canva, are there any privacy issues with sharing photos, and do Canva reuse images? Chris and Verity, I'm going to hand that one to you.
Yeah, I saw that one. Look, best idea is to check the policies on the website. They'll be available there. I wouldn't imagine they can reuse your photos, but I wouldn't be surprised if they take some kind of ownership or AI
Yeah.
ability. Like I think Facebook's the same. So it's a good question. Just make sure anything that you upload that you have permission to use it, start there. But if you're interested in to find out more detail, yeah, just have a read of the policies.
Yeah, and with the printing one, you could set up your artwork and go to share and maybe save it as like a PDF.
Which one?
The printing one? Was there a printing one?
Oh, the first question. You jumped
Yeah,
to
yeah.
that. Oh, sorry. Oh,
Yeah, yeah.
sorry. Just jumping to Karen's question.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Yeah. Can we design the club banner on this app?
Karen,
You can design it.
yeah, you can do anything on Canva. Are you talking about something that's to be printed?
I'd say so.
Yeah. And I would save the artwork like you did like I did the share earlier.
Sorry, guys. I'm looking more like how you did with your little banner on your photos and that. Like designing one for our club like that.
Yes.
Use on posts and that.
The problem you might end up with is the resolution of the images.
Yeah. I think, Karen, if I've understood you correctly, as to how to use these for your club. Absolutely. That's really the idea about it. So after this call, Jodie's going to send an email that has a link that will enable you to start using these templates for your club. So I hope that it works.
Yeah,
right.
they also do logos. So if you don't have a logo for the club, then you can do that in Canva. And email
that's what I'm.
signatures so that's definitely can be done in Canva. Yeah.
Oh, awesome! Thank you.
Does the free option have an expiry, free trial period? No. Strangely, no. Yeah, most things do these days, like, get it for 30 days free and then give us your credit card details and it will charge you. So any other questions? All right, well, that seems like it. I can't see that anyone is typing. So we will leave it there. Thank you so much, Chris and Verity, and what you have done for all of the clubs is absolutely fantastic. The templates the clubs are just going to love. I know that already. They're going to love being able to just drop stuff in, and it's so easy. And you've explained it so well. So I can imagine this video getting watched lots and lots of sharing happening. So and please do share this amongst other people in your club who use social media within the club. So that would be great. And we will leave it there. You'll get emails from me tomorrow with the template and with the handout, which has got the template link on there and this recording. So have a great night, everyone. Thanks so much for joining us live, and to all the people watching the recording, I hope you enjoyed it. And we'll see you at another Equestrian New South Wales event. Thanks, everyone. Bye.
Thanks, Betty. Bye.
Bye.